Yo, what's up guys? I got PokeaimMD here with another Pokemon Sun and Moon Moveset video analysis, how to use whatever you want to call it on Solgaleo. Now Solgaleo is the cover legendary of Pokemon Sun version that we just got in Pokemon Sun and Moon. It is Psychic and Steel type, which is pretty solid typing, only being weak to Ground, Fire, Dark, and Ghost. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head anyway. And Psychic and Steel typing is very solid typing, sporting a bunch of immunities, resistances. Some key ones in Ubers would be Dragon, Steel, also being able to resist Psychic. But the big one in the Ubers tier is definitely Fairy. Solgaleo's natural typing allows it to take on Pokemon such as Xerneas in the Ubers tier. Again, it will go right up to Ubers, and that's why we're discussing the Ubers moveset of Solgaleo. Now, I do also want to note that Psychic and Steel typing is very solid typing, not only because of the great resistances, but, well, mainly that's it. It has just great resistances and decent offensive stab. We've seen some great Psychic and Steel typings in the past, which would be Metagross, Jirachi, Bronzong, just to name a few great ones. And Solgaleo is definitely no different, sporting base 137 HP and base 137 attack, really nice defenses and special attacks, Spadef, and even decent speed, or decent Spadef and even decent speed. So the first moveset that we're going to be talking about is actually the Choice Bandit moveset. Now, another thing I do want to talk about real quick is it does have a nice immunity to poison, and that is huge in the Ubers tier. Status is huge. A lot of support Pokemon such as Arceus, such as Lugia, they depend on Toxic to be able to wear down their, I want to say prey, if you want to call it that, their victims, whatever, their opponent. They depend on status in order to wear those down, and Solgaleo is a Pokemon, just because of its natural steel typing, it cannot be Toxic. It cannot be worn down. Unless you're using, Salandit to Toxic it, but, I'm not sure if that's going to be used in the Ubers here. Anyway, or at least the Evolution Salazzle. But in any case, we have a Choice Bandit set as the first set. Now, Solgaleo does have Full Metal Body, which is pretty solid because it means it's pretty much clear body, so its stats won't be lowered. Basically, Intimidate won't lower its attack stat. That's it. Well, that's the main thing that has to do with it, and there are some pretty key intimidators in the Ubers tier, which we'll be talking about momentarily. But first off, we have Sunsteel Strike as its first move. Now, that is a steel type attack, 100 base power, that does not care about your abilities. So whether you have multi-scale or not, it'll still be doing or still be attacking at full power. And this is a really solid attack in the tier, allowing it to deal with dragon types such as Latios, but mainly because it can OHKO Xerneas. Xerneas is a huge Pokemon in the Ubers tier, and Sunsteel Strike, just with this thing's natural attack, knocks out Xerneas 100%. Max HP Xerneas dies to a Choice Bandit Sunsteel Strike. The most physically defensive Xerneas, which would be Bold, Max HP, Max Defense, takes about 80% from Sunsteel Strike, 80 to 90%. I'll actually show you the calc real quick, just to show you the most bulky Xerneas and what Choice Bandit Solgaleo can do, because I believe calcs, or showing calcs, are very important in moveset videos, because why should you just take my word? Why not show you the actual damage it does? So this is Bold Xerneas, Max HP, Max Defense, and this is Choice Bandit Sunsteel Strike doing 83 to 98% to Xerneas. Huge damage, huge damage. If you take out the you can obviously tell already, but if you take out the Bold and put Modest and just put Max HP Xerneas, it's easily knocking it out. Also, the common set of Xerneas right now, I believe, is 184 Max Special Attack, 44 Speed, and that's 28 Defense, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this would be the most common set. And you also, or Geomancy Xerneas anyway, and you also knock that thing out. So Stone Edge is the next move that we have. Now, Solgaleo struggles with Pokemon like Ho, just as dual stab. Psychic isn't resisted by Ho, but Ho takes on any attack you want to hit, like Zen Headbutt, Psyshock, Psychic, respectively. So I like how you have to say Psychic as it's Psychic type. But Stone Edge allows you to deal with Ho-Oh, knocking it out, as well as being able to knock out Rayquaza 100%, and being able to do damage to Salamence. Now, we talked about Full Metal Body. Now, bulky Mega Salamence or regular Mega Salamence has Intimidate, and usually depends on that in order to get off, a Mega and just have that insane bulk. But We're going to be showing Mega Salamence right here. This is just standard. This is just Mega Salamence without any bulk. And Stone Edge does 81 to 96%. It won't be lowered by Intimidate due to full metal body. And after Rock, Stone Edge does knock out Mega Salamence, whereas Rayquaza does 100% go down to Stone Edge, and so does Ho-Oh. Now, base 97 speed is actually pretty solid on Solgaleo because it allows it to outspeed the bulky Arceus as well as Adamant Rayquaza, so we already show that you can outspeed it and knock it out, as well as support Lugia, just to name a few Pokemon like that. So Stone Edge is very viable on the set, being able to knock out Rayquaza, smacking a Veltal as well. With the 2-hit KO, even on the bulkiest of Veltal set, I believe Stone Edge is a 2-hit KO. So I'll show you right now. A bulky of Veltal, which would be the Foul Play set. Yes, it does threaten you with the Sucker Punch. Yes, it does threaten you with Foul Play. Foul Play is going to smack you. Foul Play is actually going to smack you. So this will be the set. I'll put Foul Play real quick right here. But this will be the bulky set. Foul Play does do 97 to 114%, but your Stone Edge is a solid 2-hit KO. So if you're actually able to catch the thing, in fact, even with a Sunsteel Strike, if you have rocks up on the field and you're able to catch a Veltal upon switching, you definitely 2-hit KO it. And support a Veltal, you'll see how much damage it takes. Sucker Punch only does 57 to 68%. That's from zero attack, just because of its ability boosting it. But if rocks are up, you could definitely 2-hit KO this thing with Sunsteel Strike, and Stone Edge does as well 2-hit KO. Now, I want to talk about one thing before we keep going, or actually, I'll talk about it after this, but Earthquake is the next move that we have that allows you to deal with a pretty big Pokemon, like literally a pretty big Pokemon in the Ubers tier, and that would be Primal Groudon. Earthquake, Choice Band Earthquake allows you to 2-hit KO Primal Groudon, and I've talked about Ho-Oh being checked by the Stone Edge. Obviously, you get threatened by Sacred Fire and Earthquake from Ho-Oh, Precious Blaze and Earthquake and Primal Groudon, but you do 2-hit KO them, so if you're able to catch them, or if you're able to Stone Edge Ho-Oh, it is gone. And this is pretty big for Solgaleo, not just as a Pokemon for itself, getting rid of the Mons that resist its Sunsteel Strike, but also for a partner Pokemon in Xerneas. You can definitely run Solgaleo plus Xerneas, and what Solgaleo does is it weakens or gets rid of Ho or weakens Primal Groudon for Xerneas to be able to set up, go for Geomancy, and then knock him out with +2 Moonblast. So Solgaleo is a great support Pokemon, as well as I also want to say that at +2, Modest Xerneas, and this is just the Solgaleo set that we have, and this is really big. Modest Xerneas, Geomancy Xerneas, a huge threat in the Ubers tier. If you just put Modest, and I'll give the most common set. This is the VGC set because we're on the VGC calculator. Shout out to Jake White. But let's just say Geomancy. Or let's just put Thunder. Grass Knot isn't really run, but I guess Hidden Power Ground could potentially run. So this is the calc at +2. At +2, just to know in HP invested at all, Moonblast only does 60 to 71%, and Focus Blast does 76 to 90%. So after rocks, you're able to take a +2 Focus Blast and knock it out with a Sunsteel Strike. That's just what your natural resistance is. So Solgaleo just has that going for it. Now the last move that is actually right on it is Wild Charge. And I have a few other options that can be here, and I'll tell you them in a bit. But what Wild Charge allows you to do is 2-hit KO defensive Primal Kyogre, as well as be able to 2-hit KO defensive Arceus Water, which is also ran to check Primal Groudon. So that allows you to 2-hit KO that. Other move sets that are possible are Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz allows you to deal with Ferrothorn, as well as Skarmory in the tier, where Toxic is also a very viable option on a Choice Band set. You might think, why is Toxic good? Well, what you do is you send out Solgaleo on a support Arceus. They can't Toxic you. They have to like defog or something like that. They can't. Ice Beam isn't going to be doing much, and you can Toxic them and just wear them down. So those are all very viable moves on a Choice Band set. Now I actually have an alternative set right here. Same move set, but just alternative. Eevee Spread, which just better allows you to take on Xerneas, +2 Focus Blast, just gives you that bulk to take on the Lottie's Draco Meteors and Psyshocks respectively, and this allows you to outspeed Primal Groudon, Ho-Oh, support Veltal, as well as the 56 speed Primal Groudon. It also allows you to outspeed the standard bulky Xerneas, which I did show you, which runs 28 speed. That's standard Geomancy because it doesn't need any more, but it allows you to outspeed that and smack that thing well, actually not 28 speed, 44 speed, excuse me. It runs 44 speed, 28 defense, so 245 speed. So this allows you to outspeed that, knock it out with the Sunsteel Strike. But with the added bulk, you can still take on Xerneas even after taking Stealth Rock or Spike, just taking a bit of extra damage. So this bulkier set can also be run. You don't have to run Flare Blitz. Again, Flare Blitz allows you to hit Ferrothorn and Skarmory. Wild Charge lets you hit Primal Kyogre, Yveltal for more accurate damage, and as well as Arceus Water. But Toxic is also a very viable option as the final move on Solgaleo, just being able to wear down Pokemon and Ubers. Next up, we have a Life Orb set, which pretty much runs the exact same thing. We're actually running the bulkier set on the Life Orb spread, but again, you can definitely run a max speed spread to be able to outspeed Rayquaza and Adamant Rayquaza anyway, knock it out with Stone Edge. But we're abusing the fact that Solgaleo does have access to a decent recovery move, being Morning Sun. If you're able to predict the Groudon coming in and you go for Morning Sun, you pretty much go back up to full almost. You get ridiculous amounts of recovery. But Sunsteel Strike and Stone Edge are the two moves that are ran on this, or the more common moves that I would run on this anyway. Sunsteel Strike, again, your stab allows you to deal with Pokemon such as Xerneas, or huge one Xerneas, but the dragons as well. Stone Edge, just being able to hit Ho-Oh, and that's huge. Now, the reason we run Toxic on the Morning Sunset is because this one can repeatedly come in on support Arceus and just Toxic them, and then Morning Sun off the damage that they could do. Again, it's the same spread as before, being able to outspeed the standard Geomancy Xerneas set, and just being able to take it on better. These are all subject to change, and like I said, if you have other movesets, feel free to leave them down below. You know, these are not concrete. These are just what I came up with, and you might have something different, and it might be solid, you know? So feel free to leave it down below. But this is the Life Orb set. Again, you can run speed on it, but I like Morning Sun. I like the bulk because you don't have to worry about coming in on Xerneas, and you can just Morning Sun it up. And Toxic's really nice for wearing down Pokemon like Lugia, which you repeatedly come in now on, and Toxic allows you to deal with it. As well as being able to wear down Groudon, support Arceus, as mentioned previously, Giratina, Origin Form, just to name a few Pokemon that Toxic is very helpful for. Last but not least, and there's also a few other sets. I want to say that Solgaleo, just going over it, it doesn't have, like, it has access to Calm Mind, it has access to Flash Cannon, it has access to Flamethrower, it has access to Psychic, so it doesn't have bad special attack at all. Psyshock as well if you want to deal with like Pokemon like Blissey, which can't really deal with you anyway. But it doesn't have bad special attacks, but I haven't made a special attacking set, but if you feel free to come up with one down below. Next up we have, well, I said I didn't come up with a special attacking set, but this doesn't definitely have Flamethrower. But we have Support Solgaleo. Now this set takes less than half from +2 Moonblast from Geomancy Xerneas Modest. This thing can take on Focus Blast with ease. Actually, after leftovers, it's only a 17% chance for +2 Focus Blast to 2KO you, whereas your Sunsteel Strike does like 68% minimum to Xerneas. But this just allows you to take on Pokemon like Xerneas in the tier better, as well as the Lottie Twins. Flamethrower is ran because it allows you to break through Pokemon that would otherwise deal with you, such as Ferrothorn and Skarmory that could just set up on you, set up hazards, and not care. Flamethrower allows you to 2KO both of those, whereas Toxic is still run because, again, you're still wearing down Ho, you're still wearing down Groudon, you're still wearing down Primal Kyogre, just to name a few. And then Morning Sun is your way of recovery. Now, this isn't by any means going to be a standard set, probably. I definitely think Life Orb and Choice Band are going to be the sets that are run on Solgaleo. But it just gives you that support option with just great resistances. Again, it's immune to poison and just allows you to deal with support Arceus, which is really big. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All I have for the Solgaleo moveset guide, whatever you want to call it. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Of course, feel free to subscribe for more Pokemon Sun and Moon content, whether it be Wi-Fi battles, Showdown Lives, pretty much anything competitive Pokemon Sun and Moon. Definitely be here on the channel. But feel free to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Links are down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.